So there has been some production, but it's much slower, and we're still waiting for our injectable. So if you are interested in doing an H1N1 clinic, we hope to be able to accommodate you, but it's going to be, again, supply dependent. And it's not clear that everyone who wants it will get it by the time the H1N1 virus is peaking, because it's already starting in the community now. So what can you do if you don't have vaccines? Well, we have an antiviral medication distribution program. And this is actually arming employees in your company with a supply of antiviral medication. And the reason for something like this is if we have overlapping flu season with both seasonal flu and H1N1 flu coming right on top of each other, there's going to be a lot of illness. And the supplies of things like Relenza and Tamiflu may also, be in shorter supply. The fact that everybody is going to need them at the same time is of some concern. So we put programs together where we hopefully still can stockpile the medication for you or distribute it to your employees with specific instructions as to how they use it. In other words, if they are coming down with the flu and they go to their doctor and they're diagnosed with flu and they say, okay, you've got flu, it's pretty bad, I want you to take Tamiflu, but oh, by the way, all the pharmacies are out of Tamiflu. Well, then your employee can say, oh, don't worry, doctor, my company took good care of us. They got us a supply of Tamiflu. I have it in my medicine cabinet, so now I can go home and take it. Thank you very much, Mr. Employer. So that's the reason for doing an antiviral medication program, particularly if vaccination is not going to be available. So for that we develop a policy. We identify the vendor of your medication, whether it goes through your company's benefits, pharmacy benefits plan, or whether you're paying for it outright. We provide all the communication materials to the employees, including some of the things that we talked about before. There are emails and publications that go to them that explain the program. We hook them up with the different educational resources we talked about, online tutorials, other written materials. There's a registration process to have them do an antiviral questionnaire, acknowledge that they've understood all the materials, what the program's about, and then the physicians review the questionnaires, interview any of the participants in the program to see if they are able to use the medications, and then, if appropriate, we will actually issue the prescriptions or the medication itself with instructions as to how and when to use it, and that way they've got a supply if there is a worsening pandemic and they're not able to get it if they get sick. So that's how the antiviral medication distribution program works. We can also assist you with technology solutions for telecommuting if you are trying to do some social distancing type programs. IRA can help you with that. And for any of these things, please feel free to contact me directly. Here's my contact information, and of course we will send you our contact information as well in a follow-up email. So that's all about pandemic planning for businesses, and I know it was a lot of material. Hopefully it sunk in, and I think we now have some time for questions. So Ira, I will let you open it up for any questions.
Okay, we do have a few that are coming in now. For any of you who haven't seen it, if you do have questions in your GoToWebinar dashboard, there is a question box where you can type in your questions for us. Just want to send one reminder that in the follow-up emails that you all will be getting, there will be a recording of today's presentation, a link to a recording that will be included. You should be getting that in about 24 hours. And we'll also be including some links to some other valuable resources that the CDC and some other organizations make available, including a checklist that kind of matches up with the content in today's presentation if you don't want to have to listen to it all, but you want to have a nice review. So let's jump into the first questions here. I'm going to actually combine a couple of these together right now because they're similar. Someone asked if the vaccine is safe and proven to be effective for H1N1. And then on a related
H1N1
note,
vaccine. Mm-hmm.
yes, the H1N1. And then also someone similarly wants to know if there are any side effects of the H1N1 vaccine.
Sure. Well, the H1N1 virus vaccine is produced in pretty much exactly the same way that the seasonal vaccine is produced. And all the information that we have about the early use of the vaccine and just what we know about the same type of vaccine that's been used for many, many years is that it is indeed a safe vaccine. And there is certainly no unusual, in fact, there have been very few, if any, true adverse reactions reported in the vaccine adverse reaction database for H1N1 flu. So, you know, it's certainly early, but we know that similar vaccines that's very similar to the typical flu, and we have, again, every reason to believe it is safe and effective. And it does seem to be effective. In terms of side effects, again, very similar to any seasonal flu vaccine. The most common side effects would be local at the injection site with some tenderness, redness, swelling sometimes at the injection site. Usually this is mild. It usually goes away in a day or two. Some people will get a low-grade temperature and even body aches, and that's really just a sign that your immune system is getting revved up and working, and that's what it's supposed to do. So those are side effects, but they're not unexpected side effects. So really no different than the seasonal flu vaccine in terms of side effects or adverse reactions.
Okay. Let's see. Next we have a question about offering the vaccine on site. And basically, I guess a question this could relate to either H1N1 or seasonal flu, but why would our company want to offer the vaccine on site, and can't the employees just go to their regular doctor and get the shot with their health insurance benefits as they might normally do?
Yeah, sure. Good question, and this is something that we are asked often. The bottom line is when you rely on people to go do it themselves, they don't do it. So what you're doing when you have a company-wide flu program, it's really a couple of prong attack at controlling flu and absenteeism in your workplace. One is just the fact that you get a much better percentage adoption of flu vaccination every year when you offer it in the workplace versus letting people, you know, willy-nilly get it from their doctor's office if they decide to. And number two, it's really a sign that you care about your employees' health, and it's a good morale booster. People love these programs. They feel like you're doing something proactive to to keep them healthy during the season, particularly a flu season like we're going to have this year. So bottom line is it's just a much greater percentage of your employee population will get the flu vaccine if you offer it in-house.
Okay. So let's see. The next question here is about the shortage of the vaccine, and I think this maybe came in before you had addressed everything in your presentation, and you did mention that the shortage seems to be, you did talk a little bit about the availability of the vaccine, but what happens in a case where because of a shortage some employees can't be vaccinated? What should they do to treat themselves if they do acquire the H1N1 virus?